So game 2, first game going to Geese. We've got him on his Egyptians now, up against the Romans from Smiga. I think everything was cancelled there because he must have had that hit a tree, maybe. But already, Smiga, an experience showing through, I guess, with not so perfect use of the engineer, but at the same time, he should be right to keep moving forward with his economy. He's actually in the position to get hunting dogs early on if he wants. Geese, fairly standard 2 storehouse. Actually, where is your storehouse, boy? What are you doing? Oh no, it is there. Couldn't even see it. Yeah, so fairly standard 2 storehouse. Gonna get a dock. Smiga going for his own dock. This will be interesting. We're probably going to see a warship game, a bit like the last. It's funny, 2 series in a row. Treasure Island. Though in the last one, I think it was game 3. No, game 2. Yeah, it was. 2 series in a row. Game 2 Treasure Island from player picks. How about that, guys? So Romans versus Egyptians, with warships in the mix this time. Fast fishing boats coming out. This is a race to get something out of the water and then transition to age 2 and win it off your opponent completely if you can. And be mindful that in age 3 your opponent's going to have access to a counter ship, or at least, if they don't have a counter ship, to a strong champion upgrade that they can leverage over you, even if you're winning the age 2 fight. And then even if you do win water from there, you can still lose on the land. And all these things came up in the game between Erie and Eka, so gotta be mindful. Smiga going for Bronze Age. Geese on the way as well. So thank you for the sub, Chandler. Can't actually see that text. I need to blow up that size. Sorry, man. Your caption was really small. I made it bigger, but not big enough, probably. Age 2 gonna kick in first from probably Smiga, only just. So he's instantly got enough for 3 Liburnians, which is interesting. Geese's age 2 is going to pave way for 1 trireme, and he's going to be able to afford a 2nd. But really, Smiga's had invested a lot in this, whereas Geese a little bit slower in terms of his focus on the ships. Thank you for the sub, Chucky J. A little bit slower on the ships, but he's already got 200 stone, and he's slowed back down to only 2 stone gatherers, so he'll be able to get a quick 2nd town centre behind this, much in the same fashion as Erie, while Smiga going for a similar approach to Eka, only off 1 dock, but he did get the faster initial warship train, and he's able to afford keeping more in the queue. Oh, Geese, actually. This bloke can afford anything. He's going for double dock and the faster 2nd town centre. He's just going to do it. He's going to have to be really, really tight with his economic timings behind this. He's going to have a slight downtime in the trireme. No, he can queue it. He can queue it, but he's not. Because he wants that TC. Yeah, so he's had to give up production here to cram out the TC. If that's what he's going for. But he's also going to have double dock behind it, so he can rebound really quickly here. Smiga's only gone for a single dock so far. Smiga in the meanwhile, not really producing much on the land, just worried about the fight. Trying to take a ship off Geese. Or Geese. Gonna go for a quick Templar set. He's going for an extremely fast age 3 here actually. Geese is just microing. Trying. Oh, there we go. Dodging a couple more shots. So Smiga's going to try focus down the double dock. Geese's Templar set not very far off. He's even empowering it and he's got 6 villagers building it. There's no triremes in the queue, but Geese is going to try and get some fire ships out if he can and keep his villager production up, but he's only got two villagers gathering food at the moment, so he's got to be careful about that. Because even these fishing boats are pulled off the water to try and repair this trireme. Geese, if you repair it, you can get so much value there. Well, not really. I mean, I suppose you lose all the gathering out of this for all the fact that you gain time not having to train something again. So Smiga's actually taking a TC, but Geese has already crammed one in. So I didn't actually catch that, but a bit delayed, but he did get it out quicker than Smiga ultimately, and he has got the quicker age 3, so he's played things really tightly here. Smiga going to add to Castellum. So the Hibernians have come around to try and find everything, but Geese has actually brought everything back. But ooh, Geese is going to miss this. So Smiga's going to be able to snipe the trireme and the fishing boats. Geese in the meanwhile having cleaned up the fishing boats for Smiga, and he might be able to get this first dock quite quickly. Second one, going to be able to fit out an Daenerys in time, but I'm not sure if it's going to be able to fight 3 fire ships at once. The Liburnians, oh, really crafty from Geese. Focusing it down with 2 of them while the other one micros and dodges all the shots. Really smart play there. He's going to focus down. Oh, Geese, you champion. Daenerys coming out. Geese is doing a wonderful job at microing this. Smiga's not doing a bad one either, but the fire ships are just so powerful in the right hands. And the Daenerys might have met their match. So Smiga training an Daenerys, but is it even going to make it out in time? No, it's not. So Smiga done for on the water here. He's going to have to rely on the fact that he's going to get that age 3 town centre out slightly quicker than Geese, and he might be in the position to push really quickly here. He's only got 29 villages to 40 though, but he already has a siege workshop, got Scorpios and legionaries in the mix, but he's going to have to be careful to not get kited to death from a stable-centric opening from the Egyptian here. So there's only one stables, and there's no barracks at all. Geese more interested in securing the water line. Going up to 4 docks. 5 even. He wants to be able to go for water trade. So Geese is just bullying the poor man. Smiga's banking a lot of gold, and he really needs to try and get a bit more food here. Just pull all his gold workers off, put them straight on food, and worry about, you know, building villages onto gold. Just make that economic correction, guys. Especially when you've got that big bank and you're already behind. It's doubly important then to clean up and make sure you equalize this. If you're going to be poor with every resource. Don't be poor with 3 or 2 resources out of 4. It's rough, man. You put yourself even further behind with that. It's hard too, because I mean, even higher level players, like you see, Geese is unable to perfectly spend, and I mean, at the same time, he wants to save up for stuff, and I'm sure Smiga wants to save up for stuff too. It's definitely a balancing act, guys. Geese with his 3rd town centre, quite a ways away, so he can actually take quite a nice market line down here somewhere. And he's got the access to the water trade, having snuck some villages along there. Smiga unaware of that so far, but he can always come and clean that up later on. So the game's not over for Smiga, although I do think he really needs to try and correct this disparity between his gold and his other resources at the moment, because really that's going to unlock, you know, his army here. Whereas Geese is clambering ahead in population. Big ball of camels. 12 of them. And he's going to add a fortress here. Nicely positioned there to defend the gold and stone mines. That little dip there in the little ramp there in the high ground. And yeah, really guard for a later caravan expansion if that's what Geese wants to go for. He wants to add 5 markets or 2 markets or 1 market down here. Be well defended. Because really all he needs to do is probably put another one here. This is a nice army from Smiga, and he has sort of fixed up his eco a little here. Probably needs to now pull some gold gatherers off and put them on wood. Because yeah, when you've got a big bank like that, guys, it doesn't really give you any value. What's this? Smiga? No. Geese is going to go for a cheeky siege tower on Smiga here. And he is also going for a little bit of trade. These guys even do any damage? They do, but not much. So the fire ship's pretty ineffective compared to the triremes and the other warships. Oh, actually, they're going to do well against the siege, I think. Yeah, they're going to do great against the siege. So the Scorpios being at the back there for Smiga is not so good, because then the fire ships can actually take part in that fight. They're pretty weak against the other units, though. But Geese just has too much in the army. Already has the war elephant there, and just a mass. Mostly of camels, but he has also got Axe Champ. So really nice age 3 comp here from him. And he's going to try and add another couple more mean siege towers. Smiga has no idea about any of this. This is amazing. This is completely blind from both players. Geese is going to have to like chop this out though to get the siege towers out. Or he's going to have to... Oh, he can use a transport ship and move them around. But he's going to have to be careful. He's going to have to remember to do that. Because otherwise that's just wasted population. Because Because, you know, he's maxed out, and right now he could have another 8 army population. Instead he's got those siege towers just chilling. In fact, he's got 16 population just chilling there. So these are things you got to remember, guys. You know, while he's mucking around with that, Smiga is actually building up a nice force here. But oh, and Geese, no upgrades. What are you doing, boy? What are you doing? So Geese looking to take an engagement. Smiga having seen the army making its way forward, but oh, there is a oh no, there's not a gap. Geese is stuck. Geese is stuck in that corner. He's gonna have to. He does find a gap. Okay. He's a wizard, man. The Roman army here is actually quite nice against this Egyptian comp. But in the meanwhile, there's 5 siege towers tearing down everything here. So Geese's army wiped out, but that might be because 20 population is locked up in siege towers, annihilating 2 town centers and a couple of production facilities right now. So Smiga's going to have to clean all this up, and it's going to cost him a lot of wood to do so. Geese is in the position to bounce back, take age 4, and really just come full steam ahead, add upgrades if he needs. I think he's just going to play this like he's at the end game and he's just massing out the units. That was really quite nice from him. He's really dented Smiga's eco. It's 82 vills to 51. There's 1 town center to 3. And Geese has gone to age 4. He's now at a double armory. And he's getting them upgrades on the way. Smiga just still trying to recover, replacing houses and having to replace a town center still. This time, I don't know if things are gonna fare out so well for the Roman player, because he's fighting outside his base and the Scorpios just go down. Geese with an impressive display. It's truly choking Smiga. Even denying any use of up there, but Smiga's having taken this gold mine over here unexposed. I mean, and it is exposed, sorry, but it hasn't been scouted yet. I think Geese might have done enough for game number 2. This Treasure Island series, in this Treasure Island game, GG is called. The series is 2-0 in favour of Geese. Valiant effort there from Smiga. Geese is really solid at the moment. So good luck, have fun to our opponents, especially Smiga. Considering he's down 2-0 in his first tournament. The first games he's actually playing in the tournament, considering he made it through this round by default. But he has been playing wonderfully over Sparta, and in this series so far, Geese is just running hot. So, got Smiga as the orange trunks Kelp player. We got Geese as the pink trunks Norse player. So both players are going to want to opt for an early barracks, I suppose. Or perhaps Geese can muck around with the doggy dogs. He's going to fit hunting dogs in quickly here. actually just going to keep scouting. He did hesitate and have a look, but he's decided, nah, I'll clear them later. I'm Norse. I do what I want. He's getting such excellent map coverage already with the double scouts. They are slightly slower than a mounted scout at 8 speed versus 9, but the fact that you've got 2 and then you can pull them back and build with them means you can generate quite a bit of value out of them. So Geese actually probably looking to go for a fast stage 2 here, perhaps. Just scouting out all the hunts, all the gold mines. Perhaps going to wrap around and clear his own hunts later, as he needs. So Smiga, having seen that Geese didn't really have anything there, but he didn't see the store. Now he's going to see the storehouse. So Geese, playing greedy. It's probably going to work out for him, I think. The Spearman, going to come in and put a bit of pressure on, but the hunt for Geese is on the backside. So it just adds that little bit of extra walking time here for Smiga, but he's already got some nice gear here. Got some event spears. Big shout outs to our new player in the tournament using the event gear, showcasing it for us. Smiga gonna try and harass, deciding, ooh, I'm gonna take town center fire there. Perhaps I'm better off waiting for another couple of spears and going for the hunt. All these sheep having to retreat along with the villager. But Smiga actually doesn't get any sheep. Oh no, only gets 2 of the sheep. And doesn't get any villagers there. A bit tough for him. Geese on point with the defense. So the double scout defense from the Norse player, it's actually pretty brutal if people don't micro well against it. So Smiga gonna take a lot of damage on these spearmen. But he's gonna finally get his spoils of war here. He's got the 2 sheep. You beauty. That's 200 food right there. More if you get hunting dogs. So more sheep being stolen. Smiga's age 2 a little bit behind Geese's though, but he is going to have that dock. And Geese hasn't actually got anything building the barracks at the moment. So for all the microing and watching with the scout, there's nothing actually building any production here for Geese. He's going to bring it back because he knows he's pretty much safe until there's a big and massive infantry there. So really safe H2 here from Geese. Smiga, he's got the water. Can perhaps creep ahead a little economically here. Still needs to get his second town center out though. He needs to get these villagers straight onto the wood line, because he's already got the stone he needs. So Geese making use of the infantry building there. And the range scout, where is it? I probably should find it up so I can see where it is. Yeah, he is going to get outposts. He's going to send his range scout back to help with that. So second town center is on the way for Smiga, but it's 25 villages to 27. And he is housed at the moment, so he is having to cram out another house quickly. Can't quite sneak net lures in on the dock at the moment either. But Geese is going to have to get a little bit more food here in order to be able to field the dogs. They are a little bit more expensive this most recent patch. They're back up to 25 food. They were reduced down to 20 some time ago, but they've been bumped back up to 25. And instead they've got melee cavalry armor and a stronger bonus versus cavalry nowadays. So they're even more formidable against cavalry. Though in this matchup, this early on, it's not going to matter. But they are more expensive, or they're back to their original cost. So that is going to matter. It's going to mean that if you're not playing the dock side of this map, you've got to be careful with how many of them you field. But in saying that, it's a great number of throwing axemen already. Smiga, his own infantry ball, is already being rivaled by the throwing axemen count. So he needs to add more barracks, and Geese just slamming down barracks at the moment, maxing out the amount of military building he's doing here. Smiga's food eco is looking great, but he needs to try and harass the north somewhere. Be very careful to not lose anything he can't afford to. He's going to get a grove, so as long as Smiga doesn't lose any units here until the druid comes out, he's doing fine. Ooh, I don't know if he should turn and take this fight. And the dogs at the front there mean as soon as the throwing axemen retreat, the units start actually attacking the dogs, and this throwing axemen can get away. So Geese winning that initial fight quite handily, but there is a swan ship. Geese is going to have to be careful to not lose the war dogs and get snare on the swan ship if he wants to engage, and he doesn't for the time being. Smiga doing a good job to try and punish Geese for sticking around and using the army to clear that hunt. So a single swan ship with more barracks is incoming, and as long as he can maintain the production behind this, keep the gold income up, he's doing a good job with the eco tax. Geese's army is just looking mean at the moment. A pair of stables and another barracks. This is great for him because then he can have a really big front line of hounds and a couple of raiders, and it really messes with the Celt player because they've got to start investing in spearmen as well as long swordsmen to try and deal with it or go to age 3. And yeah, Norse, once they start fielding this sort of composition, they've really got the upper hand in age 2 against the other civs that don't have counter infantry. I mean, don't have bowmen, sorry. They do it, they play around their counter infantry rather than their bowmen from age 2. In those instances, it's quite tough to fight against Norse in age 2. You're really often best off going to age 3 and relying on the fact that you're going to have an easier time getting onto bowmen, generally. Or in Roman's case, you get to use Scorpios. Smiga just needs to probably apply a little bit of pressure here to Geese. Trying to secure some vision over this side, but Geese is actually on the other side. But Geese at the moment still struggling, even with 18 food gatherers, to keep feeding this Norse army at the moment. Because it's hard when you're trying to get dogs and raiders and throwing axemen. Ends up being quite expensive, and he hasn't got the water here. But that is a huge number of raiders. But Geese is confident he might even be able to pinch that hunt. Smiga doing a wonderful job with the food eco, going to age 3. And all the raiders getting caught out by the infantry. One of them going down, a couple of them are low. If Smiga can get a couple of spears in here and save the villagers, he might be alright. But well planned here from Geese, because he's going to snipe the Swan ship undefended. Lose only a handful of units to the initial volley there. I think he lost like 2 war dogs and a throwing axeman. So definitely worth it on this engagement, because he's really clearing out the water there. And Smiga just struggling. He's overgathered a bit on food here and finding it hard to spend it. Not enough gold in the bank. The Geese just able to mass and push at the moment. He's a Silver Age kicking in, and he's going to get a dock, turn things around, try and get some fishing ships on the water here. While Smiga probably over-invested in his food eco behind all this, and idle villagers, no good. He needs to be producing buildings and gathering some gold. Geese, just immense pressure at the moment. Geese has also got the winter axe on his throwing axeman. Really cool look to them. It's Smiga right now struggling, I think, to get the gold that he needs. He's down to 13 gold gatherers, and that gold mine's pretty fresh, but there's a lot he's got to repel right now. And Geese is transitioning to berserkers to try and tear down the buildings, because the throwing axemen, for all their strengths, aren't all that great against buildings. Unless you've got such a number of them, like even more than this. You really are better off with horsemen or berserkers. Smiga's going to lose that front side town centre, and more production. It's going to be really hard for him to bounce back here, I think. He's down to 49 vills, Geese at 70. GG is the call. Well played to both our players today. And Geese goes through to the semi-finals. Smiga, thank you for stepping in and playing in the tournament. I hope you've taken away some good experience. And well played to the pair of you. And guys, thanks for tuning in. I'll let's see if we've got any more games on the go at the moment. But just give me a minute.